When the world throws a challenge in your face, you don't just step back, you step forward. India's response is not just politics, it's a message to every person who has ever been underestimated. We don't break, we rise. No matter how big the name, no matter how much power they hold or how loud their voice echoes across the world, they do not have the right to define your worth. Your value is not determined by another person's opinion, and it is not shaped by the size of their influence. Your worth is something only you can decide, and it is built on the choices you make, the actions you take, and the strength you show when the world tries to push you down. When someone tries to belittle you, when they speak words meant to make you doubt yourself, you must see it for what it truly is, not a final judgment, but an opportunity. It is a moment that tests your spirit, a moment that gives you a chance to rise higher than you ever thought possible. When you are underestimated, you have a unique advantage. People are not ready for the strength you're about to show. They do not expect you to fight back, to stand tall, to keep moving forward no matter the odds. That is why moments like these are precious. They are the fuel that can ignite something deep inside you, something powerful, something unstoppable. The louder someone doubts you, the louder your success will sound when you prove them wrong. The more they try to push you down, the more momentum you gather to rise above them. Think about every great achievement in history, every nation, every leader, every individual who left their mark on the world. None of them were handed respect on a silver platter. None of them had their worth handed to them by their critics. They earned it by showing up, by taking action, by refusing to give in to the voices that said, "You can't." They turned "you can't" into "watch me," and that is exactly the mindset you must have. When you face criticism, don't take it personally. Take it as a challenge. Don't let their words stick to you like chains. Let them bounce off and fuel the fire inside you. Every insult, every attempt to undermine you, every careless remark meant to bring you down is actually a gift. It's a spark that can ignite the determination you need to push further than you ever thought possible. You must remember, people's opinions are temporary, but your actions are permanent. When someone tries to put a label on you, tear it off and replace it with your own. Write your own story. Decide your own value. Don't wait for applause or validation. Give yourself permission to be great. Greatness doesn't ask for approval, it claims it. In life, you will meet those who believe they are above you. They may speak down to you, try to intimidate you, or act as if their words are the final truth. But here's the reality. They are only as powerful as the influence you give them over your mind. The moment you decide that their words do not define you is the moment you take back control. The moment you stand your ground, unshaken and unafraid, is the moment they realize their voice has no power over you. So never let anyone, no matter how powerful or influential, tell you what you're worth. You are not defined by their perception. You are defined by your resilience, your courage, your determination to keep standing even when the storm is raging. Stand your ground, hold your head high, and remember this: your worth is not a debate. It is a fact you prove every single day by the way you live, the way you fight, and the way you rise. It's easy to talk. Anyone can make big promises, boast about their abilities, or claim they have the power to change everything. Words are light, they cost nothing, and they can be spoken without effort. But respect, that's different. Respect is heavy. Respect has weight. It is something you carry with you because you have earned it, not because you demanded it. People don't truly respect you for what you say. They respect you for what you do, for the results you deliver, for the way you stand when others bend. You can talk tough all day, but if you can't back it up, your words will vanish like smoke in the wind. The world doesn't care about how loud you shout, it cares about what you achieve. When you act with strength, when you take action in the face of pressure, when you show results that cannot be denied, that's when people take notice. That's when respect follows. This is why moments of confrontation, like when India responded with power instead of empty rhetoric, stand out. It wasn't about throwing more words into the air, it was about doing something that proved a point. True respect is built on a foundation of consistency. One good action might get attention, but it's repeated action over time that cements your reputation. Think about the strongest people or nations you admire. It's never just about a single victory. It's about how they keep showing up, time after time, delivering when it matters most. That's the kind of consistency that makes others listen without you having to raise your voice. When your results speak, you don't have to repeat yourself. And here's the truth. Talkers fade, doers last. The world is full of people who promise and never deliver. It's full of leaders who make speeches but don't follow through. When you're the one who not only makes a statement but also takes action to prove it, you separate yourself from the crowd. You become someone others can't ignore. You become a force that demands respect, not through intimidation, not through fear, but through undeniable proof. There's another reason respect comes from action. It creates trust. When people see you say something and then follow it with action, they know you mean business. They know you're not playing games. They know your word is more than a sound. It's a commitment. That's why in both life and leadership, action is more powerful than any speech. Sometimes you won't even need to respond to criticism or opposition with words. Your achievements will answer for you. If someone doubts you, prove them wrong, not by arguing, but by showing results so strong they can't be denied. If someone underestimates you, rise so far above their expectations that they're left speechless. You don't have to convince people when your success makes the argument for you. When you make a habit of taking action, you start to notice something powerful. People watch more closely. They stop underestimating you. They pay attention because they know you're not just another voice in the crowd. They know you're the one who will follow through. And when they respect you for what you've done, they'll listen when you finally do speak. So let others talk. Let them throw words into the air. You focus on the work. You focus on the results. You focus on building a record so solid that no one can shake it. That's the path to real respect, the kind that lasts long after the speeches are forgotten, the kind that turns opponents into believers, and the kind that makes the world remember your name. When someone challenges you, they are handing you a choice. You can either let their words weaken you or let them sharpen you. You can either shrink under the weight of their doubt or grow strong enough to carry it and keep moving forward. Opposition is not the end, it's the beginning. It's the starting line for a race you were born to win. Every obstacle in your path is not there to stop you, it's there to test how badly you want to move ahead. When someone stands against you, it's easy to take it as a personal attack and retreat into frustration, but that is exactly what they expect. They want you to waste your energy feeling hurt instead of turning that energy into progress. The real power move is to take that opposition and use it as a reason to push harder. If they say you can't, you make it your mission to show them you can. If they try to slow you down, you increase your pace. History has shown that some of the most powerful achievements came from people who faced resistance so great it would have crushed a weaker spirit. The truth is, without that opposition, they might not have become as strong, as resourceful, or as relentless as they did. Opposition is like resistance in the gym. It tears you down only to help you grow stronger. Without it, you never discover the limits you're capable of breaking. The louder your critics get, the more they're revealing something important. You're doing something that matters. No one throws stones at an empty building. People push back when they feel threatened. They criticize when they realize you're making an impact. That should not scare you. It should excite you. It's proof that you're shaking the ground they thought was solid. When you turn opposition into motivation, you start thinking differently. Instead of asking, why are they against me? You start asking, how can I use this to rise? You stop seeing challenges as walls and start seeing them as stepping stones. Every insult becomes a lesson. Every setback becomes a strategy. Every attack becomes an opportunity to demonstrate strength.
It's important to understand that motivation born from opposition is powerful, but it's not about revenge. It's not about proving your enemies wrong for the sake of their approval. It's about proving yourself right. It's about showing yourself that you can survive the storms and still stand tall. When you grow from opposition, you stop depending on anyone else's validation. You become unstoppable because you're no longer fueled by the need to be accepted. You're fueled by the fire of your own belief.
That's why India's hit back matters. It wasn't just about saying, we reject your criticism. It was about taking that moment of confrontation and transforming it into a statement of strength. It was turning words of doubt into proof of resilience. And that is something we can all apply in our own lives. When you face opposition, remember this. They are giving you a gift. It might be wrapped in negativity, but inside is the fuel you need to break through barriers. You just have to decide whether you're going to let it burn you or let it light your fire. The ones who win are always the ones who choose the fire. The greatest battles are never just about one person. When you stand up and fight, when you take a position in the face of pressure, the impact often reaches far beyond you. It becomes about something bigger, something worth more than your personal pride or comfort. Standing for a cause greater than yourself gives you a power that fear cannot break and doubt cannot touch. It gives you a reason to keep going when quitting seems easier. When you fight only for yourself, the struggle can feel heavy, and the temptation to walk away can grow strong. But when you fight for others, for a community, a principle, a legacy, you discover a deeper well of strength. You push harder, you last longer, and you refuse to fall because you know the consequences go beyond your own life. You are carrying the weight of something sacred, and that responsibility fuels your courage. Look at any great leader or movement in history. They did not stand tall because they wanted fame or personal victory. They stood tall because they were the voice, the shield, the force for something larger than their own ego. They became symbols of resilience because their fight represented millions of others who couldn't speak for themselves. When you take up such a cause, you become more than an individual. You become a movement in human form. This is why India's strong response matters. It was not just a political pushback. It was a message on behalf of a nation, a billion voices, a history of resilience. It was a reminder to the world that some lines are not crossed without consequence. That stance was bigger than one moment, one speech, or one leader. It was about preserving dignity, sovereignty, and the principles that define identity. In life, you too will face moments when you have to choose between protecting only yourself or standing for something greater. It could be defending a friend, protecting your values, or speaking up for what is right when everyone else stays silent. And here's the truth: standing for something bigger than yourself will almost always require sacrifice. It might cost you comfort, it might cost you approval, it might even cost you relationships. But what you gain in return is far more valuable, a legacy of courage that will outlive you. When you align yourself with a greater purpose, every challenge becomes meaningful, every victory carries more weight, every setback becomes a lesson that strengthens not just you, but everyone who believes in what you stand for. People will rally behind you because they see that your fight is not selfish, it's selfless, and nothing inspires loyalty more than knowing someone is willing to endure hardship for the sake of others. This doesn't mean the path will be easy. In fact, it will often be harder because the stakes are higher, but that difficulty is what shapes greatness. If the cause matters, the cost is worth it. And here's something powerful. When you fight for something bigger than yourself, even if you fall, your fight will inspire someone else to rise and continue the mission. The cause doesn't die, it grows. So ask yourself, what is bigger than you? What is worth enduring discomfort for? What is worth standing your ground against overwhelming odds? When you answer that, you will unlock a level of determination that nothing can break. Because when your why is bigger than you, no how is impossible. If you let others tell your story, they will shape it to serve their interests, not yours. They will choose the words, the tone, and the version of events that benefits them. Before you know it, the world will believe a version of you that isn't even true. That is why controlling your own narrative is not optional. It is essential. You cannot leave your reputation, your legacy, or your identity in someone else's hands. You must be the author, the voice, and the defender of your own story.
When people talk about you, they might exaggerate your flaws, minimize your victories, or twist your intentions. If you stay silent, their version becomes the accepted truth. But when you step forward and take control of the narrative, you decide what the world hears, sees, and remembers about you. This is not about arrogance, it's about ownership. You are responsible for how you are represented. If you want the truth to be known, you have to speak it, live it, and back it with action.
Taking control of your narrative means you stop reacting to every accusation or rumor and start setting the tone yourself. You choose what you reveal and how you reveal it. You choose the story that will live long after the moment has passed. You make sure that whether in victory or in struggle, people see your strength, your vision, and your purpose, not someone else's distorted version. The power of this was clear in India's response. Instead of allowing others to define the situation, the message was clear, strong, and unmistakable. It wasn't a defensive posture, it wasn't an apology, it was a firm declaration. This is who we are, this is what we stand for, and this is the truth. By doing that, the story was not written by critics, it was written by the very people living it. And that is a lesson for every individual. If you don't own your story, someone else will. In your own life, there will be times when people misunderstand you, misrepresent you, or even attack you. In those moments, you might feel tempted to retreat, to keep quiet, or to hope the truth will eventually come out on its own. But silence often gives power to lies. You must be proactive. You must take your truth into the open and let it stand unshaken. Controlling your narrative does not mean you have to explain yourself to everyone. It means you make intentional choices about what defines you. It means you choose the message you want people to associate with your name. Every decision, every action, every statement becomes part of that image. Over time, those consistent choices create a narrative so strong that even your critics cannot erase it. And here's the key. Your narrative isn't just about what you say, it's about what you prove. Words alone won't protect your story if your actions don't match them. If you say you are strong, you must show strength when challenged. If you say you have integrity, you must hold your values even when no one is watching. When your actions and your words align, your narrative becomes unshakable. So decide today to be the author of your own story. Don't let others write it for you. Live in a way that forces people to see the truth, whether they want to or not. Shape the message, control the image, and protect the legacy you want to leave behind. Because in the end, the story people remember will either be the one you chose to tell or the one you allowed others to create for you. And that choice is yours alone. This is not just about politics, it's about life. If you want to win, you can't wait for permission. You have to rise, you have to fight, and you have to show the world exactly what you're made of.